Hello, my fellow Skolgers. Good evening. Hope everyone is ready for tomorrow's action. When you see this video, it'll probably be Saturday. Recording this Friday night. Big matchup. Another shot to clinch the division tomorrow at noon on a Saturday, which is very unusual. Against the Indianapolis Colts back home at US Bank Stadium. I'm very, very confident that tomorrow is the day that we clinch. I'm very confident that we get this done, beat the Colts at home. Last week, we ran into a hot team. The Lions are looking good. The Lions could very well find themselves in the playoffs by the time this season ends. So, a road game against a hot team that's playing really well. We gotta let it go and put it behind us. We talked about the defense. We know how hard it's been. Ed Donatel gave a interview earlier this week. Obviously, O'Connell's not about to make a move and switch the play calling for defense. He made that clear. Donatel says, play more aggressive, play up on the receivers a little bit more. I don't have the most trust in the fact that he's just going to turn this around, that quickly. I don't think it's going to happen, but he hit the nail on the head that we absolutely have to be more aggressive. There's no denying we cannot continue to play so soft on defense, because once we get to the playoffs, that's just going to be a recipe for disaster. It is what it is. Tomorrow, we'll see how it goes. I keep saying tomorrow. You're probably going to see this on Saturday, so I should switch the way that I'm talking, because I think I'm going to have this debut premiere or whatever on Saturday morning. But I'm still not confident in the defense, but I think Detroit is a far better offense than Indianapolis. So I'm not worried about Indy coming into our stadium and beating us. I'm not worried about that at all. I truly believe that we are destined to clinch the North against the Colts. I really, really don't want to see Matt Ryan look like Matty Ice against us, which is entirely possible, but I don't want to see that. It just seems like lately every single time that we face a quarterback, they look elite against us. I mean, Goff looked elite. Mac Jones looked elite. Mike White looked elite, basically. That's just, that's kind of the way the season is going. The point differential, everyone talks about that. Although the stat coming out of, last week is of all the playoff teams. Now, I don't have the exact stat pulled up in front of me. Maybe I should. I'm sorry. But there are several teams that have a negative point differential that are in the playoffs right now. Obviously, we draw the most attention because we're a 10-win team, a number 2 seed, and, that's kind of unprecedented and unheard of. And it's not good. It's definitely not good, but it's not like we're alone as far as the playoff picture goes. Is what it is. I spoke earlier in the week after the game about Donatel and the defense, and that is obviously our biggest concern. But coming into this game against the Colts, I 100% believe that we are going to handle business. Our offense is going to take care of business. I think, Justin Jefferson has all the momentum to break Calvin Johnson's record. I'm saying it now. I'm putting it out into the universe. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, I think his record is broken this season. Obviously, there will definitely be an asterisk next to that because of the extra game, 17 versus 16. But I could see that record falling to JJ. And offensive player of the year. I'm looking at JJ, offensive player of the year. That'd be great. But more than anything, what we need to frickin' win. We need to clinch this division, go into the playoffs, and we need to beat these good teams. Our defense needs to figure it out. That's the way it is. The defense needs to figure it out. We got 2 home games, 2 road games. The home games, all the games are very winnable, but the home games are extremely winnable against the Colts, who have struggled mightily this season, have not really got it, going. Even Jonathan Taylor has not been nearly what he was projected to be after last season's big year for him. And then we got the Giants, who, Saquon. It's nice to see Saquon back and playing well, playing at a high level, but no way that we lose to them. There's just no way. We've won all these close games. The 3 games we've lost, we're against good teams. The Lions are a good team. I truly believe that. So, need to put it behind us. And coming into the game, we're favored by 3.5 points. Unfortunately, it's only 3.5 points. I understand it. I get it. We should, as a 10-3 team, be favored by more at home, but 3.5 point favorites against the Colts is what it is. Over under is 47.5 points. I feel like the defense is going to have a better game this week. I really do. I feel like the defense is going to have a better game, and I think that this is the game where the Vikings have a little bit, more cushion and win by more than 1 score. I'm going to go Vikings 27-13. 27-13 at home against the struggling Colts. We'll see. It's going to come down to our secondary. Will Matt Ryan be able to feast against us with, Michael Pittman Jr., Paris Campbell? It's going to, be dependent on that. Looking at the injury report for this week, illness has been hitting the Vikings a little bit. It hit us last week. It's hitting us this week again. Looking at it, we can look together here. Let's look together. Obviously, my big head's in the way here, but Blake Brandel, the guy who has been filling in for Christian Darrisaw, obviously, IR with a knee injury. Cam Dantzler with an illness did not participate. Questionable for the game. Jordan Hicks, I'm going to say, is probably good to go. Full participant on Thursday. Harrison Phillips is questionable. Would really love to be able to see him available. Really could use Harrison Phillips. I think he's played pretty well this season. Bradbury, would love to see him back. Prior to the season, he was one of my biggest, pet peeves on the offense, and I think he's stepped up beautifully this season. He's played, under the radar so well. Questionable. Limited participant. Would love to see him go. Harrison Smith looks like he's good to go. Danielle Hunter showing up on the injury report with a neck injury. I know that was what kept him out of action for the entire season. I believe it was it last year or the year before? Regardless, his neck injury kept him out. I think it was not last year. Last year might have been the pec, and the year before was the neck. But limited participant, questionable. I feel like he'll probably be good to go. Adam Thielen showed up just for rest, which is, all good to go. And then Patrick Jones, another guy with an illness, is questionable. Did not participate on Thursday. So, not necessarily a ton to worry about, but something to keep an eye on. We'll see. Could really use Dantzler. And we need Harrison Smith back. So I'll keep this short. I'll keep this simple. Vikings need to win. There's no other way around it. clinch the division, get that momentum back. Good chance that we could win out. I'm trying to stay optimistic here. Win out. Outside shot at the number 1 seed, but I don't like our chances there. But with San Francisco surging, San Francisco with their third-string quarterback, shout out to Brock Purdy, they are surging, and they could easily win out. So the Vikings now have to keep the pressure on to protect the number 2 seed. That's what we're looking at right now. The number 2 seed could potentially be in jeopardy because of how good the 49ers look. That defense, if we run into them in the playoffs, that could be a scary matchup. I think I would honestly rather play the Eagles than the 49ers at this point, but we don't really have a say in that. But the number 2 seed would be lovely, but it all starts tomorrow or today when you're seeing this, whatever. Vikings, Colts, noon, Saturday, at home, U.S. Bank Stadium. Crowd needs to show up and be rocking. Defense, get some freaking pressure on the quarterback, please. It's Matt Ryan. His slow ass is not going to escape the pocket and run on us, although he's done it a few times this year, which is impressive. But clamp down on him. Shut him down. Offense, do what you do. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, Dalvin Cook, looking for a bounce-back game from you. Would love to see that. Vikings 27-13 is my prediction. And let's rock. Let's clinch the division on our home field and get to work and look forward to the rest of the season. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably Sunday for the recap. Appreciate you guys. Again, apologize for the lack of the podcast, the SkolNBolts Podcast. Hectic times with work between me and Cactus. Just struggling to find time to link up and get it done. That will, subside a little bit once we get, through this next week. Because, working in sales, this is our busiest time. But we will get back on track, I promise. In the meantime, Skol Vikings, NFC North champs tomorrow or today when you see this. It's going to happen. Vikings beat the Colts, and we get that division title. Got to clamp on that defense, though. Otherwise, we'll be one and done in the playoffs. We don't want that. We do not want that. All right, y'all. We'll see you later in the week. Skol Vikings.